is weird.
I don't like raw dogging it with no headphones.
It feels very uncomfortable. My mic is yelling. Oh, sorry. Am I yelling?
Let's do another check.
No, it's fine.
Sure.
Well, now that we've had so much...
No. I say we use this cut.
We're going to use this cut. Okay, welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. Welcome, one and all, to our favorite podcast of all time.
Snyder cut.
The Snyder Cut.
We don't cut anything.
Yeah, we don't cut anything. No editing. Raw it is, indeed. So welcome to Keeping Up with the Cardassians. I'm Dick.
This is Rob.
This is Joe.
And this is the weirdest recording you'll ever see today. Or hear today. Because, I don't know if you know, but we're in Michigan, and there was some massive ice storms.
Yeah.
And there's some massive power outages. I think at one point it was 750,000 people without power. And this morning it was down to 400,000.
Oh, look at them.
But one of the people who doesn't have power is our recording studio, Rob. So we are recording. Well, you'll just have to guess where we're recording from. Actually, here's the
Whose house are we in?
No one's house.
We're not in Rob's house. We're not in Nick's house.
The Lord's
house.
I was going to say we are recording in the infamous recording studio of Toy Time, the music video.
That's true.
Yeah. This is where the magic happened.
This is where the magic happened for Toy Time, the music video. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you got to be a Patreon exclusive for that. So sign up, $2, $5, and $10 tier. Make it happen.
Nice work.
Yeah, I try to work it in there every
Nice
now and
work.
then. Yeah. But anyways, as we said, this is Keeping Up with the Cardassians, and this is a podcast where we focus on pop culture news, including video games, toys, movies, comics, TV shows, music, anything else, everything.
Life.
Whatever we want.
Life.
This is potpourri.
Love.
No, we don't do
we
those.
don't cover love.
We don't cover love. Clearly,
Lust.
we don't cover those things.
Lust. We do cover lust.
That's true.
That has happened. And right now, we're currently reviewing Battlestar Galactica. We're in the season 2 of that, and we have 2 episodes to review today. And those episodes are Fragged and
the other one.
Resistance. Fragged and Resistance. Wow, I got to edit out all those uhs.
Yeah.
So
We'll edit all this out in post. It'll sound clean.
So those will be reviewed in the second half of the episode. And we're also going to try something new today that you don't even know about yet, and maybe you don't know about.
I'm up for new things.
We're not going to take a commercial break because here's what's happened lately. We're just going to let the commercials happen because lately, as I've been doing commercial breaks and I go into Spreaker and set where our commercials are, anytime I log in to listen to our podcast, it just says, and we'll be right back. And there's dead silence.
Yeah,
and then
I've
we
noticed
come back.
that.
I don't know what's going on with our Spreaker commercials. So I wonder if it has something to do with me setting the exact time where we take commercials.
So
I
don't know.
So we're doing an experiment today.
We're going to do an experiment.
Show meeting.
Meeting adjourned, actually.
That was a quick meeting.
That was a quick meeting. So we're going to try that today. We're going to try something new. So we might be in the middle of an incredible thought, and then it's just gone.
On this podcast?
Nobody comes here for incredible thoughts.
On this
Nobody's
podcast?
here for
Nobody does.
incredible thoughts. So that's the plan. And I just realized you have a Bible propping up the phone. And
No, that's not a Bible.
Oh, it's not?
It's one of those blue books over there. It didn't say Holy Bible on it.
it's a Bible.
Oh, crap. It might be a children's Bible then.
Yeah, it's a children's Bible.
Well, sorry, Jesus.
Wow.
Well, you know what? We are filled with the Holy Spirit on this show.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
The Holy Spirit is literally propping up this show.
Yeah, at this point, yes, absolutely. But yeah, this is weird.
This is weird.
This is very weird.
It's almost uncomfortable. I can't find my vibe.
That's all right. We got it.
Greater.
Yeah. Wow, this is making for really good podcast material.
I know, especially if you're listening.
I know. They're like, oh my gosh, turn this podcast
For the
off
4 people that watch it
now.
on YouTube.
Yeah. So anyways, with all of that said, I was trying to think of things to talk about this morning. We do have this massive ice storm, right? And I was thinking about this yesterday. We had this massive ice storm where 750,000 people lost power. And, you know, it's cold, which is the bad part about it all. But isn't it kind of funny how now when we lose power, it's like the end of humanity? Like we cannot cope. Like we almost lose.
Well, yeah, because a higher percentage of our lives are dependent on electricity and power.
Yeah.
And they used to be, yeah. But
Like in the 90s, I mean, if you lost power, you still have your refrigerator, your heating, all these things that are still consistent, and you lost like TV and shower. That's about it.
Because you could still dial somebody on the phone. and talk
Right.
to somebody.
Oh yeah, because
Mhm.
you would use the landline, but
Yeah.
now even landlines don't work because they require power now with
Right.
a lot of the network providers.
Yeah, a lot of the
So-
old lines are gone.
Yeah,
We're more and more dependent on the grid,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and once that goes
See,
down, we're
that's what the
screwed.
man wants. That's what the man wants.
exactly.
That's why you gotta
They're
get off
controlling
grid.
us. They're controlling us.
Welcome to Conspiracies with the Cardassians. Man, we could come off with all kinds of alliterations.
We
with
really
that.
can.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But it's crazy, like the reliance on technology. Like I'm thinking about like back in what was it, early 2000s when there was the big blackout in
Yeah,
Yeah.
2003.
yeah.
Sounds about right.
And it was like a week?
Yeah,
Where
was a
like
yeah.
millions had no power.
Do you guys remember where you were when that happened?
in my apartment. Yeah, I just kind of was chilling, and there it went.
I was out of the state actually. I was in Tennessee, and they all had power. And it was funny because on the news initially when they were reporting it, they all thought it was like a terrorist attack. And they're like freaking
I think-
out down
yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
at that time you'd think like,
Yeah.
what was the next
yeah.
sort of attack that could happen, and it was something like that. And
If you want to attack America, that's a great way
once
to-
it was realized that it was more than like a local power outage, you're like something's up.
It felt like someone's up, and then you're like, it's just crappy infrastructure. And we like to put lipstick on a pig in this country and pretend like things are wonderful and great.
Oh,
and
Why'd you
until-
look at me when you said that?
until they all collapse?
Lipstick.
Oh, it's on the
The
pig.
lipstick.
The lipstick. It was. It's the lipstick. But yeah. So it's fascinating to me, and it's funny because I'm like talking about we're so reliant on technology as we're forcing ourselves to record in the church just
Hey,
to make our podcast.
I offered
happen.
my house still because we could run the
Think
roadcaster
Ford first.
off the truck,
We
and we would
could.
just have to be cold.
What kind of truck is that?
It's a F-150. Think
Where was
Ford
it
first.
purchased?
Bill Brown Ford.
From who?
Marty Pearson.
There you go. There. When you need a car, you don't have to travel far. Go see Marty Pearson today.
Can you get Marty to sponsor? Can you get him to submit some paperwork and sponsor us?
I'll throw it out there.
We'll do live reads.
Yeah,
He'll do live reads for Ford.
I have no
that
shame.
would be incredible.
I have no shame. I'll do it.
I mean, I'm sure that there's no
Actually,
way.
he's buying a car from Marty soon. He should do it.
I am.
They have to spend money in advertising.
Yeah.
Speaking about reliance on electricity, I pre-ordered a Mach E. So I'm waiting.
Way to go,
on a-
Nick.
I'm waiting on a Ford Mach E.
Well, the best part about that is on one of the local radio stations when the guy owns an electric car, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't charge it."
that would stink.
Yeah.
I just want a Mach E because it sounds like the Mach E, and now when I'm driving around, I'll be in the Mach E. So I'm one of them.
Dead air.
Yeah.
Silence.
Why?
Well, most of our people are Star Trek fans.
Now,
we're
well, I know,
Cardassians.
but if the Maquis was a ship, it'd be better.
Yeah,
But it's a faction of people.
it might be a ship now.
It might be the USS Mach E. You don't know.
That's true.
Gosh, don't judge me, sir.
That's what I do best.
I do what I want when I want.
Can we talk about how weird this is still?
It is
Yeah.
so weird. It feels like we're talking differently too.
Well, it does because
The room is bigger.
the room is
There's a
bigger
little bit of an echo.
we have no headphones, so it's,
I know.
Mm-hmm,
I
Rock
know.
dogging the natural.
I know it's
Vocal.
Okay, so
It feels better though.
Yeah, it does.
It does kind of feel better, but it doesn't feel right. It feels better, but it's not right. We need that protection.
What else are we talking about? What else we got?
What else? There's not a lot in pop culture news, honestly.
Well, my son said Ant-Man sucked, so you were right.
Oh yeah, it did. It sucked really bad.
I don't know. Are they losing steam?
Losing.
Are they losing the
I
law?
would-
Or have they lost steam? I mean, they're obviously losing steam from where they were at the end of the Infinity War, but
Doctor Strange was good, wasn't it?
In the Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was zany. It was kind of like but not zany as in like trying too hard to be funny. It wasn't like that. It was a Sam Raimi film, like the original Spider-Man were.
yeah.
So, I mean, it worked fine. But I think it's not, again, this is the thing with the Marvel movies. I don't know if they're rewatchable. Like, I'm going to go back and rewatch them over and over again. I can rewatch.
How many have you rewatched of the entire run, like from the beginning of the Infinity War run to now? How many
The
of them have you
original
seen
Iron
and
Man.
rewatched?
Iron Man. Well, on purpose, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Winter Soldier, definitely.
Mhm.
Avengers Endgame?
Avengers.
No, I see. No, actually, I've only seen Avengers like twice. It's not that good of a movie. It's pretty slow and boring.
I really like it.
No, it's not that good. And Avengers 2 is not good at all.
When you get past the party scene at the beginning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no.
For Ultron, yeah, it's not that good. But I mean, I don't know. I actually think I'm starting to think now that it wasn't so much that these movies were good. It's just that for so long, comic book nerds didn't feel seen or heard, and now they are. And now that they're seen or heard, they're like, now we're almost getting spoiled to the point where it's like, okay, now the material has to be really good because it hasn't been really good for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably since Endgame.
Yeah.
If you're talking film, I think there've been some good series.
But I mean more in line.
Hawkeye
with,
was
if you
solid.
Look at some
Hawkeye
of the
was a lot of fun.
comic book runs that they have. Like the comic book runs are really good and they're fairly serious. And I think Marvel's just completely abandoned all pretext for. I mean, I've said this time and time again of like telling something more important, like giving you a message, giving you meat. Like, there's no way a Marvel movie will ever be considered for Best Picture. Like, every once in a while they'll throw out Black Panther, but I think that's kind of like, I don't know, in a lot of ways, I think it's Marvel trying to virtue signal, like, oh, look at us, we have a black superhero. And they're really great movies, but I think there's a little...
I think comic book movies are treated similarly to comedies. Comedies aren't taken seriously in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No. I mean, the last comic book movie to get nominated for an award was what Dark Knight got for Best Picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was up for it. I mean, I remember when Lord of the Rings was nominated for Best Picture, and people lost their mind because even that, like, it's a fantasy film. There's no way a fantasy.
And the only way
all
Dark
films
Knight
are all films are fantasy films unless you're
Right.
making a documentary.
But the only films that seem to win Best Picture now are like the really
I know it has to be serious or foreign.
avant-garde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
little
be serious.
pompous.
Yep.
Is the movie in black and white? Automatically a winner.
Yeah.
Is it a silent film? Winner. Like, it's funny because I read an article the other day about how oftentimes now Best Picture nominees, it used to be that Best Picture nominees were movies that people were seeing, and now it's becoming more and more common that the Best Picture winner is like a Sundance Film Festival.
But do we blame the Academy for that, or do we blame the studios? Because the studios are just putting out what's going to make them money.
I blame the Academy because they've never opened their mind to movies that
Yeah,
are
I
more
blame the
mainstream.
Academy. I think they're snobs.
They've never done that, where
Yeah.
there's some quality mainstream movies. I'm not saying this year, but
I feel like that's fair.
yeah, I mean,
And now, especially when they nominate 10, there's 10 nominees for
Yeah,
Best
it's a little
Picture, and
ridiculous.
we look at was it last year? The Batman Alone was a great movie, but they'll never give it serious consideration unless Heath Ledger dies and put
Right.
it in there, even though
Where
it's
you
a
at, Robert
phenomenal
Pattinson?
movie.
And would he have won that Oscar if he didn't die?
Would he have been nominated if he didn't die?
Oh yeah, he was already nominated before he died.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know about the
maybe
timing
not.
of that.
I'm gonna fact check that.
Yeah,
So here are
who's-
the
who's
2020.
fact checked. When did Heath Ledger die?
When was he nominated?
Well, but
Yeah.
let me give
Well,
you this.
nominations come out what? December.
Yeah, something late in the year.
Well, actually, I'm talking about the Best Pictures not being known, but
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick's in there. The Banshees of Inisherin, I don't know that one.
I've heard that was very good. It's on my list of movies to see, but I won't.
Well, this is one I wanted to see.
That's an accurate list.
I heard Everything Everywhere All at Once is incredible.
I've
I
heard
did
that one's
wanna
very
see
good.
That one.
I'm gonna watch that one soon. I
Fable-
think.
All those movies were
The
incredible
Fablemans.
because it says it Best
Um,
Picture.
The Fablemans, that's the one basically Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah,
I've heard interesting things about Tar.
yeah.
Heard some people like it and some people really don't like it.
Yeah. We got Elvis and then Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Ugh.
Ugh.
It's Avatar.
Who is James
should not
Cameron
be-
blowing to get all these nominations?
I'm gonna guess a lot of people, including
Jesus.
himself.
Yeah.
He's getting his stomach pumped to get
Yeah.
all these nominations.
Yeah.
Honestly, what are we nominating Avatar again for?
I don't know.
They're
It
too
tells
grand.
the
The movie's
exact
too
same
grandiose.
story.
There's no. I don't know. I can't.
I can't do it.
I can't do those movies.
Nope.
It's the exact same story as the first one, and I'm just not interested.
But at the same time, I know that I love Top Gun Maverick. So, I can't.
That does
I can't throw the stones too far.
that does not deserve a Best Picture nominee, though.
Oh,
You shut your mouth.
It does not,
according to Steven Spielberg, it does.
because it brought movies back.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
Tom Cruise saved the
Doesn't
movie
that kind of
industry.
define best movie if it brought everybody to
I
the?
think I could see it being a Best Picture nominee if it wasn't for the end climax scene with him stealing.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't see that part.
He's got to steal the
stealing the fighter jet.
He's got to. What is it? The F-14. You got to steal it.
I'm okay with him ending in an F-14
If he dies,
jet. It's the
Best
way
Picture nom.
he got the jet, like shot down over enemy lines, has
Hold
to
on.
sneak into a hangar
You
bay.
don't think it was plausible that they could run across the runway and jump into the plane and just start it up and go? Come on.
A jet that's been sitting in a hangar bay for probably years untouched,
But you suspend reality for Marvel movies.
but they're not Best Picture nominees. I know they're supposed to be. Well, I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once is supposed to be zany too. So
Yeah,
I
so
guess
there.
whatever. So there's that. I don't know. I don't give a lot of credit now to I used to watch it every year, the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be really into it. Now I could care less.
Is it because?
I don't give a damn about the Oscars anymore.
Why do you think that is? Because I think that opinion is held by a lot of people,
That they used to care and they
as
stopped.
proven by the ratings.
I think a large part of it is
The movies that are nominated.
Or do you think it's the way that TV is watched nowadays? People
TV,
don't watch network TV as much as they did.
I think it's the way TV's watched, but I also think part of it that factors in is, and I want you to keep in mind that I'd more identify with where they stand, like on the spectrum and politically and all that. But I think it's there's a lot of preachiness going on at the Oscars.
There's that too.
there's
Absolutely.
all the actors and actresses who are constantly, telling you they know what's best for you. You got these people talking about we need to save the planet, as they're flying off on their private jets and their yachts and,
I think that plays into
doing
it
whatever
for sure.
they want. Like, they're total hypocrites. Like, those are the people who can actually afford to live the lifestyle they're talking about, because that's the thing. To live a lifestyle where you're eco-friendly requires you to be rich. You can't, as a poor person, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way the system is designed. They want you to continue to use and abuse the planet, but yeah, it's the preachiness for me. It's turned me off. Like, I can't watch it because it's like, oh great, here comes Sally Field with a speech. Oh great, here comes Matthew McConaughey to tell me it's not all right.
And
all
like
right,
you said,
all right.
All right, guys, something's going on
It's
over
not
here.
all right. All right.
It's not all right. All right. All right.
And like you said, I think it's coming from, people who identify more with their message than some.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of a turnoff. I mean, not everything has to be preachy. Can't we just watch? Can't it just be an award?
Entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment. Isn't that what the film? I mean, movies have been preachy for
sure.
forever, but at the core of them, they're supposed to entertain you.
Yeah.
Right.
And shouldn't the award show reflect what the films are? What film is supposed to be?
Yeah.
An escape.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it's almost like thinking about all the awards presentations where all these actors and actresses get up and say anything. It's not so much that one or two gets up there. It's become like the normative. It's almost like they're doing it out of one-upsmanship for each other. And I think maybe that's part of it. It doesn't feel like there's any sincerity there.
They're trying to be a celebrity in their celebrity.
I blame
for
Sean
what
Penn.
they're doing.
Sean Penn is a big part of that issue. Yeah, he is. Sean Penn is.
He's a trendsetter.
He is a trendsetter.
Sean Penn's
But
a
there's
douche.
certain people, like, if they got up there and said stuff like that, it wouldn't bug me. Like, if it was Jon Stewart, whatever, he backs up what he preaches.
Yeah, he really does.
He fights for people. He goes out of his way. But, like, if it's someone like, I'm trying to think of a good example of someone.
Just name it. Just throw out a name. Any name.
Gosh,
Yeah.
it'd be like Justin Bieber getting up there.
Oh, I
mean,
I did
he's
say
not
throw out
Academy
any
Award.
name, but I think that's the one name that you could throw out where you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, but he really doesn't preach,
No.
and he does. You think Justin Bieber?
If he did. I thought
Oh,
we were
okay.
saying
If
they
oh,
got
okay,
up there
okay.
and preached. You'd be
I
like,
thought you were.
okay, bro.
I thought you were gonna set
No.
up a real life example of.
No.
Because I'm like, Justin Bieber is the epitome of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Trying to think of good examples recently, but there have been quite a few celebrity preachy moments at the Oscars. Let's just Google that. Preachy.
What are you doing with it? Why are you typing with one hand?
I know, right? Come on, get double.
You're on
double fist
camera.
Double fist that thing.
I'm doing it.
You're on candid camera.
I'm doing it. Here we go. The 16 most political moments in Oscar history. Well, that was a good. I mean, that's a Oh,
Going old school
hold
there.
on. Yeah, we're back to the 1940s. We can't.
Is that
go
Mitch
back that
Albom?
far. Vietnam War protests. Vanessa Redgraves, Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, Richard Gere used her voice. Oh, like Susan Sarandon. She's a good example of that. Anytime she gets up on the screen, she drives me nuts. Tom Hanks pays victim.
But he won a movie for playing a guy who died of AIDS.
Yeah, in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Michael Moore shames George Bush, Harvey Milk. See, some of these aren't bad. They're Save the Dolphins. Text Dolphin to 44144.
What?
John Legend in the fight.
Listen, if you're bringing a text whatever to this number signed to the Oscars,
Hey.
I'm watching.
I'm just saying we should go.
Yeah, 2016, Leonardo DiCaprio takes on global warming. Shut up, Leonardo.
I think
You
Leo's a big
find-
one that annoys me.
Yeah.
He's one that's like, where is there a 19-year-old who's single? And it's simple.
No.
Okay, load up
Hold
the private
on.
They have to be under 25. Doesn't have to be 19.
jet. I mean,
We're talking political annoyance, not getting to the mountaintop and staying there.
it's funny. It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
That's the one thing I won't rag him for. He has a type.
He has a type, yeah.
I will.
Super young.
It's
You know what his
disgusting.
type is? Legal, and that's fine.
It's creepy to me. It's creepy. He's a creep.
734-494-0980. Creepy or okay?
Oh yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow winning for Shakespeare in Love was a big shocker too. Anyways, we're not getting into that.
Well, we already did.
Oh,
10 minutes into the discussion.
I know.
You know what? That's enough. We're not getting into
Trey
it.
Parker and Matt Stone wore dresses to the Oscars.
Yeah,
Anything they do, I'm okay
but they
with.
were tripping on acid. They said that
Again,
year.
anything they do, I'm okay with.
Yeah. And they're doing it just to be
Oh,
ridiculous.
the guys who created South Park were on acid and in dresses. You
Yeah.
don't say.
Yeah, I know.
Go
that doesn't
figure.
make any sense, right? There's nothing else that I'm really. Okay, never mind. Maybe I don't have anything right now, but
You know what would help if you did some show prep?
I don't do that.
We don't do that.
I don't do
Come
that.
on.
It's
You
not-
don't show prep.
Not this week.
I mean, in the context of what the three of us do in general, you do the most show prep because you read beforehand.
Because you know how to read. We don't know how
Because
to read.
you put those words together and it makes
I
sounds.
mean, I know how to read. I read, but I
don't know how to read.
don't know. I wing it. On the way here, I'm just like, okay, what happened this week? I don't know. Figure it out when
Yeah.
when the mics turn on.
Rob will have something.
There isn't much. They're making a series for HBO Max about Derry from the It series. Welcome to
Oh.
Derry, like a prequel to that. I don't know. The It movies were really good. Well, you hating on
here we
that?
go again.
I can
I'm
get
just-
behind that. That could be a good story.
Why does everything have to be a universe? And we need to
I mean,
explore
that is true.
we need to explore every corner and every character of a show or a hit movie or it's
As
like
a guy who's watching Star Trek Picard,
Are you saying
cool.
why does everything have to be a shared universe when we're talking about Stephen King, where every single one of his books is in a shared universe and has been since the 70s?
is that true?
He's the one who started it all. Like all of his character, like
I didn't know all his books were in a shared universe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
They're a shared universe. Yeah.
Nick making things up.
So they
again.
all
No,
so they're
I'm
all
not.
they all happen in the same on the same timeline.
Well, essentially the same timeline.
That
And,
is a
there
messed
might
up
be
universe.
some thing. But like Randall Flagg, who plays the bad guy in The Stand, he's in the Gunslinger series that they have. He's like the main bad guy in the Gunslinger series. Or there's characters from
I'm still annoyed. I still stand by my
Needful
huffing
Things
and
has
puffing.
Characters from I'm trying to remember what book it is, but like there's characters of his that weave in and out of different books. I'm gonna Google this Stephen King shared universe, and there's probably Stephen King fans listening right now. Like,
So here's one that annoyed me and that I actually liked, but I was Lightyear. Buzz Light. I didn't need that movie.
well,
It bombed.
No one needed it. That's why.
Boomed.
That's why it went down. Woo, big time. Big time. Big time. Yeah.
All right, I
Randall
still
Flagg.
am annoyed
Yeah.
that everything has to be like anything that's successful. They're like, well, what? Who
You know the Top Gun universe is coming, right?
is it?
I don't know.
Oh
That's
my
fine.
gosh.
I'm okay with it.
You're like, I'm in.
I could see that happening.
Is there a Rooster series?
They're all going to come together. They're gonna have spin-offs, and at some point they have to save Tom
It's
Cruise's
kind of
character.
like Creed, right?
Really?
No,
I'm in it. I'm
They're
in.
gonna have to make the ships or the planes fly faster than ever to travel back in time to save time.
the ships are going to have to go 88 miles per hour.
88.
Tom Cruise is flying a DeLorean.
I'd watch
Where
it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. That's because we're in jets, dude.
We're in jets. We're in the air.
But we do to take off.
Speaking of Back to the Future, you see Doc Brown is going to be at Motor City Comic Con.
I did see that.
Are we going to be a Motor City Comic Con?
We have unpaid intern working on that for discounted rates.
You know, I had a genius idea the other night that
I'm for
immediately
it.
crashed.
Oh.
Trying to get Tigers tickets, like really, really good seats, and contacting Jonathan Frakes and being like, "Hey, do you want to go to a baseball?
How did it crash?
Because they're out of town.
They're in Washington.
They're on the road that week.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
that is unfortunate.
And they're home the next week, which is too bad.
Well, John will just have to stay.
He could stay at Nick's house.
He can go for it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And then Garrick himself is going to be just across the way in Grand Rapids.
Andy Robinson at the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Yeah.
He's like the one guy that's eluded my email barrage.
That you haven't got a no or a yes from.
Doesn't
I
he-
know, and friend of the show Armin Shimmerman was he kind of gave me some pointers
Oh, really?
to contact him, and still nothing.
Well, it happens. It's okay.
I think he put in a good word for us with Andy.
Yeah.
But did he?
He said he did. I believe him.
All right.
I trust Armin. He hasn't given us a reason to doubt him.
Yeah.
And there was a Ferengi in this week's episode of Picard.
There was a Ferengi in this week's episode of Picard. So briefly, let's talk about Picard. You haven't watched it, right? No. They are knocking it out of the park.
They really are.
I give this last episode a 9.
A 9? 9?
A 9. I thought it was really good.
9 out of what?
11.
Okay, that works.
I'm still in the 8.85 area.
But yours is out of 10, so that
Yeah,
the math,
it's okay,
the
fair
math
enough.
works
Yeah.
out on that.
I think the biggest thing holding it back was Rafi's stuff. Like, she's not as
Until
good.
the end of it.
It wasn't just that it was Worf that came in. Oh, that's
Spoiler.
a spoiler.
God dang it.
Well, we know Worf is coming in the show.
How is that
We've
a
seen
spoiler?
We've seen him in the.
I'm Mr. Anti-spoiler. How is that a spoiler? He's in all of the.
But you didn't know he was coming in this episode
Okay.
until Nick just spoiled
well,
it.
Worf is in it. So deal with it. He flies in with the Enterprise at the last second and blasts everyone away.
Yeah.
It's
Today is a
amazing.
good day to dine.
And it's the original series Enterprise,
Yeah.
which is really weird.
What a twist.
Yeah. No,
Did he run across the runway with Tom Cruise to?
exactly.
And they went
Started
88
up.
miles per hour.
Yeah. And Rooster actually was there too. It was really weird. It was really
And Doc
weird.
Brown, it was
But-
multi-universe crossover.
I think they finally they seem to be nailing Picard in the sense that Picard feels like he knows what he's doing again too.
Yeah, which is nice to see
He's got
because
some confidence.
in the first 2 seasons he was
Just a bumbling fool. He had no
Yep.
clue. I mean, maybe that was part of the story, but they didn't do a good job of conveying that was a part of the story.
No, I agree.
I mean, Rafi kind of did. She's like, "Who are you? You've lost who you are." Blah 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 blah. But it wasn't enough to me.
drastic improvement over the first 2.
Drastic improvement. Better set design too, except for it's still too dark.
Yeah.
And you can drink your chocolate milk.
No,
on
that's
there.
fine.
No one's gonna care. No one's gonna care.
My Guernsey chocolate milk. It's
Guernsey's the best.
Did you
the best.
shake it before you?
Hold on, let's plug Guernsey. Let's work on them next.
Oh,
shake.
you shake chocolate
Yeah,
milk.
you shake it, man.
You didn't know
Keep
that?
refrigerated. Where does it say shake
Shake
before?
well. Always. You always shake your chocolate
Wait,
milk.
you saying keep refrigerated? You know I'm electricity declined right now.
I'm looking.
Check your privilege.
Yeah,
Check
it does
your
not say shake well.
It should.
Not okay, you're buying like cheap chocolate
No,
milk.
any chocolate milk you should shake well.
No, this comes directly from chocolate cows. It's pre-mixed.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. That's my comeback right there.
Yeah, no.
So does Picard seem like it's nailing it because it feels like the Next Generation?
No.
No, it
This
doesn't
season?
feel like
It
next
does
generation.
not feel like the next generation.
Visually, it does.
No.
No.
I mean,
Personnel-wise, it does.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes and no. Because
I was getting there.
like the first episode of Picard, you could easily have taken out all the original series characters and replaced them with other characters, and the story still would have carried pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you could have, it didn't need to be Beverly. It could have been someone else with a kid that's his own kid, and it would have worked. Oh, that's another spoiler.
Well, that's a week old, right?
That's a week old.
So you're
now.
good there.
Statute of limitations has
Statute
expired.
of limitations.
We got yelled at in one of our messages about spoilers.
Well,
Nick.
I don't care. Whatever.
You know what Nick's response is? Whose show is it?
Whose show? Oh gosh, we don't have our voicemails today. That's fine. We'll play them next week.
What?
No, because it's a question of the week response.
It was is it just a response? Was it a voicemail?
It was a voicemail.
She left a voicemail.
Yeah.
Show meeting.
Yeah, exactly. We can't play it because we're not hooked up to it. I could play it.
Yeah, you could.
Oh my gosh, this is like the worst episode of Keeping Up with the Cardassians ever.
Maybe we should do some editing.
No.
How's your week been, Joe? Well,
I
scrambles.
dodged COVID.
How'd you?
Who
Oh,
got-
that's right. Because I heard that your kid has COVID, right?
Yeah. He had it. He got it Sunday, so I think he's technically better now, but he's still not 100%. But
Which one?
my oldest.
Okay.
And I hadn't been. So I wasn't. It wasn't my week with the kids last week, so I wasn't really around him. But I did drive him to the movies on Sunday.
For Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was Monday morning when his mom was like, "Oh, Elijah has COVID."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. So Monday I felt fine. Tuesday I woke up and I did not feel good.
Uh-oh.
I was feeling rough. I was feeling like,
Did you get the civvy?
no. I'm very distracted.
So what happened? Tell me more.
I forget. I didn't get COVID, the end. Now what's going on over
Sorry,
here?
Uncomfortable things were happening on the screen.
No, I think I just had like a cold or something because I took 3 COVID tests, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they're all negative. And
Here you are today.
And you're still alive.
Look at
I'm
you.
here.
How do you feel? To
Still
know you're
haven't gotten
alive?
COVID. Still have not gotten COVID in almost 3 years
That you know of.
that I know
You
of.
might have been a
But I
carrier.
will say in my defense, every time I've felt like it might be, I've tested.
Okay.
So I could have gotten it and been asymptomatic.
You could have. Yeah.
But anytime anybody's been around me with it, or I've felt like I don't feel right today, I've tested.
Well, when I had it, you came over and nursed me back to health.
Mhm.
Yes, because I have superhuman blood.
Well, you come here and you just pet my head and you be like, hey, Rob, it's okay. Kiss my ear.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We cuddle.
Yeah. Made me feel better.
As you should.
Yeah.
That's important. So, on to more important things, because
What's more important than cuddling Rob?
I pretended to
Nothing
be
I
interested
say.
in your story, but I really wasn't.
That's
Spoiler.
pretty typical.
That actually tracks for me, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Yeah.
does.
Nick, what did I say? No clue.
Yeah, no clue.
It's
I
like we're his wife.
I really do think I have ADD.
Are
for
we
that.
married to Nick?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
I mean, you think you'd have what? ADD?
ADD. I'm pretty sure I have AD.
Really?
Yeah, because I cannot.
I diagnosed you the first time I met you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty obvious I have ADD, but I've never
But you
done
know what?
anything about it.
You make it work. You do well with it.
Make it till you break it. Speaking of making it till you break it.
commercial break. I'm kidding.
No commercial break. So last week we did
It'd be
have,
great if a commercial break was put in right there.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
but it is a fun time. Are you ready for this fun time, everyone? Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. I need a little more music with this. I need some drums in the background.
You're doing too much. Just less is more.
It's time for your favorite time of the week, the question of the week.
But we switched it up this time.
Oh, yes. Hold on. What letter next? Yeah. Derpy question of the week. So here's the thing. We posted this on our Twitter and on our Instagram account, and we encouraged you to check that out and then call in and leave a voicemail for it. And we did get a voicemail. So we're going to start off by playing that voicemail. And the question of the week was, you have been banned from the library. What was the reason you were banned from the library? So let's start off with this one. Hold on. Oh, dramatic pause. Dramatic pause.
I
Here
feel
we
like
go.
this question was leading.
It was. I think something's happened.
Hey y'all, it's Samira. I got kicked out of the library senior year, last week of senior year, because I guess those post-exam or exam studying times got me all stressed out, and I started doing cartwheels, and that was a no. So I couldn't use the library for the rest of my senior year. I mean, I'm sure I could go back now, but like, why? If I was going to get kicked out the library now, it'd probably be for joning people too loudly. I mean, back in college it could have been for that too, or maybe for mooning somebody. That's a real thing. But yeah, no, it'd probably just be for, I take my kids to the library, read books, play in the little play area. I don't always like other people's kids, and like y'all said, the worst thing about kids is their parents. Sometimes I don't like other people's parents, so yeah, it would probably be for joning too loudly.
Yeah, it's great.
It's going all over the place.
Anyways, I've wanted to leave a voicemail for a while, so I hope to be doing more of these. And thank you, Nick, Joe, Rob, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Oh my gosh, I love that they were kicked out for doing cartwheels.
It's a very strict library.
Yeah, it's a very strict.
They must have a zero tolerance policy for cartwheel.
Oh
Couldn't you just warn them? Like, you know what? You really shouldn't be doing cartwheels in here. Yeah. You should be studying instead of being like hit the bricks.
We have a no cartwheel.
Yeah. We have a zero tolerance
policy on cartwheels. Like, you cannot. I wonder why. Like, what happened in the past at that library? Like, did a cartwheel, like, they do a flip and like kick into a stand and then all the books fell over?
No, you're not going far enough. So what the story is that happened at that library is someone was doing a cartwheel there, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, they hit one of those bookshelves. They're kind of in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And then those bookshelf fell over and a book fell on a child.
Oh.
And the child died.
Oh, so she was trying to do it again.
No, she was just
it
was like
now
a traumatic.
Oh my gosh! And then the librarian who saw her do the cartwheel was the one who
was working
the
there.
Dead child out of the wreckage
and tried to save the child.
Oh, see, I went more wholesome. I thought like it was. I assumed it was.
Now I understand.
I assumed it was like during the days of flash mobs. Oh. And they were just super annoyed.
No, we don't.
And they're like,
do those.
At the first sign of a flash mob or cartwheel or anything dance related, they're like, nope, get out.
We're not doing that.
You're
not
absolutely
today,
not.
Satan. So, what would you be banished for?
I think I think what I would be. My wife said I would be banished for talking too loud because I'm a loud talker. So they would kick me out. They'd be like, "Dude, you got to keep it down," and I couldn't shut up. But what I actually think I'd be banished for is I would be the guy who's getting all the National Geographic magazines.
You jerk.
Putting out the spreads and looking at all the pictures. And like, sir, that's not. There's little children around.
You're like, look at this one.
National Geographic World.
It's educational.
It's education.
I just want all the magazines, though.
I'm learning about this lost tribe. Yeah, that could be a reason, or it could be the artsy books, where it's like artistic pictures of people and
tasteful nudes.
Yeah, tasteful nudes. Yeah, I remember as a young kid, like Barnes and Noble would have those, and I would go sneak and pull the book down and start looking through them, like hiding in the corner, looking at the pictures of.
It could be the time you actually brought your penthouse collection there and tried to donate it.
Oh my gosh, they did, but that's wrapped in plastic. See the tasteful nudes.
Oh, they don't want it because the pages all stick together.
Yeah.
No, thank you. So, anyways, that's why I'd be kicked out. Rob, why would you be kicked out?
Rancid gas.
Rancid gas. Yeah, that would be bad.
Oh yeah,
it's him again.
Yeah.
Which is
you
like,
can't be here.
It's because right during the recording, he went over to the corner. We were gonna go over there. He's like, "Don't come over here. Don't come over to the corner."
They're wearing those gas, like, sir, we're gonna need you to leave. Everybody looks like Bane when you walk in.
Hello, sir.
You merely adopted the fart. I was born into it, molded by it. Oh. What about you, Joe?
Probably picking fights with kids. If anybody knows anything about me and has ever listened to this show, I will fight it. I will fight a child.
I would love to see you, like, you're walking around with like a picture book in the library, and then there's like this little kid reading a novel, and you pull the book out of his hand and be like, "You think you're better than me?" And pick a fight that way.
That's funny because we did get one text that said, probably for kicking a child for being a dick in the library.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that could happen. That could realistically happen.
Like the loud kids would be like, "Shut up. Yeah. We're taking this outside."
Mm-hmm.
Just grab them by the hands. No.
Just sit at those miniature tables, coloring and giving the kids a death stare.
Oh my gosh!
Like, you want to go? You want to fight?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
For going on the Children's Day and just starting beating up 5-year-olds.
Yeah, because the kid's not going to share the crayons, and I need the yellow.
Yeah, but
or the
already
blue.
by that point, they've like ruined the tip of it.
Yeah, and then
These kids
another
don't
reason to
color
go.
properly.
Yeah.
They like jam the crayon into the paper.
Yeah, as another valid reason to fight this kid.
Gosh, why would you do that?
Fight the kid?
And
Does he
they've
jam the
not
crayon?
perfected crayon sharpeners either.
No,
don't
they really
work that
haven't.
well.
No.
Oh, I used to love that Crayola where they had the crayon sharpener in the back.
In the box.
Mm-hmm. Back in the day. I don't know if they do that anymore.
Sharper. Kids
Crayon
don't
sharpeners?
color.
Yeah. That would require them to turn off their electronics.
They do too. Well,
Not the
they're
kids that listen to
3.
this show.
Not the kids who listen to this
I
show.
hope no kid listens to this show.
I hope they all do and know I'm
Which is
coming
funny,
for them.
'cause the
Mom,
Genesis was
what's
so your kids
Penthouse?
could listen to it. Yeah. Tell me all about it.
Why would the page be sticky or stuck together?
Oh gosh, that's ridiculous. Another thing, real quickly, and then I think we should shift to Battlestar Galactica here. The Last of Us is still knocking it out of the park.
Joe wouldn't know.
They've released 6 episodes now.
You can talk about it. I told you, I will. By the time it gets around to me watching this show, I will have forgotten everything I've read or heard about the show. It'll be all brand new stuff.
I don't think there's been a single episode under a 9 for me.
You might be right about that.
Like even this last episode, what I appreciate about it though is it's a show that's about like the zombie outbreak essentially, and there hasn't really been many zombies.
It's really cool how they've not done that.
And people hate that, but it
Don't they?
makes it,
They don't want to use the Z word though, don't they?
No, they don't use the Z word because it's the cordyceps, right? So it's different.
But they don't want to be known as like a zombie series,
No,
like
right, they don't.
to get lumped in with like The Walking Dead or something.
But like, so think about it. The problem with Walking Dead is they used them so much that the threat of them went away. Like the first couple times they saw them, you're like, oh my gosh, anything could happen. And by the end, they're like fighting off 15 zombies with one hand, right? So the more you have zombies, the more you have like this thing you have to overcome, the more you have to amp it up, right? Because the viewers require that. But the fact that The Last of Us, it's really only been 2 or 3 scenes that they've had.
You use them so the tension's there.
Yeah, exactly. The threat is always there. Like the
humans
thing-
have been worse than the zombies so far.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of even Walking Dead too.
So is it the approach of the show? Because spoiler, I haven't seen Walking Dead
No.
or Last of Us.
No.
But I'm aware of The Walking Dead and I'm aware of The Last of Us. And to me, it seems like The Last of Us really gives the audience credit for being intelligent, whereas the Walking Dead kind of plays it. At least as the show went on, it kind of dumbed it down.
Maybe
and played
Last
it-
of Us gives the audience credit for being patient. Because
that's what I mean,
Very,
like-
they're very.
I think patience and intelligence kind of go
methodical.
hand in hand.
But you know, it's interesting because The Walking Dead for a while there, Walking Dead has had its ebbs and flows, its ups and downs, right? And for a while there, it was really, really good. The first season is incredible television. Second season's pretty good, and then it slowly kind of declines after.
That's what I mean. As the show went on, when you needed, because in the beginning you're telling a riveting story, and when you need to prolong that story over the next additional 4 or 5 seasons, what do? You have to fill that space, and you fill it with zombies and just things that you don't really have to think about or feel too much about. Whereas it seems like, from what I'm reading, The Last of Us is like gut wrenching every episode. Like every episode, you're emotionally invested as well as
So far, at least, yeah.
Yeah, and Pedro Pascal knocked it out.
He
of
is
the park.
phenomenal.
He nailed it this last week. Like his scene with his brother was really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good TV. It's rewatchable too, I think, more so than most shows of that sort of nature would be. So I'll probably go back and rewatch it sometime.
Once it's complete, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch it.
No, you
Yeah.
won't.
No, you won't.
Don't even lie.
Don't lie.
But what if I do?
Well, then you can call us on our line.
734-494-0780.
0980.
0980.
Oh, I was about to give you props because I don't remember it at all. I know
I'll call in. When I watch, I'll call into the show.
You calling in the show?
Hey, guys, this is Joe from across the table.
That would be
And-
hilarious.
734-494-0980.
0980.
Hey, guys, this is Joe.
Hey, guys.
So
Hi, guys.
you guys know the number better than they do.
Where are you looking at?
The camera, bro.
Oh, you because you looked like that way. You look towards the donuts.
Well, those are
Yeah.
good.
That's probably true too. You guys know the phone.
When we talk about lust on the show,
Mhm.
hey girls, how you doing?
Donuts have a hole in them for a reason.
Yes, sir.
That's uncomfortable, especially in the
No, it's
room
not. It's very comfortable. Donuts are soft.
And gooey.
Oh, okay. So Battlestar Galactica. Here we go. We're diving into Battlestar Galactica. We got 2 episodes we're going to review with you today, and we're going to start with the episode Fragged. The episode Frag is oh shoot! I usually have my things in front of my.
Oh, frack.
So Frag. We start off with a funeral for the people who died. Rest in peace. Sorry, I really got to pull up the notes because it makes me struggle.
I still think my summary of last week's second episode was better than his.
Oh, okay.
Stuff happened.
Crashdown leads a brief funeral. Baltar's seeing Head 6, and she's basically saying, "Hey, they're not with God. You know why? Because they died on Kobol, and Kobol was a place of death, and God doesn't want any part to do with it." Tyrol observes the Cylons. They're building a missile battery, and they're like, crap, we got to do something about this because if they come to rescue us, they're going to get shot down. Crashdown says, okay, well, we're going to go attack this thing. And they're like, bro, we can't attack this thing. We don't know what we're doing. And Crashdown insists that they do it. Six warns Baltar in his head that someone's going to betray them. And sure enough, Crashdown pulls a gun on Kaylee, saying, if you don't go and attack this missile base, I'm going to kill you, which is the most illogical thing ever. And Baltar shoots him in the back. And just as they're about to die, they blow up the missile base, and Raptors come down and save the day. Meanwhile, Doc Cottle arrives, operates on Adama, saves his life. Rosalind is tripping out on medicine. Ty is a drunk, and his wife goes to visit the president and realizes she's crazy because she's on withdrawal from her medication. So she convinces Ty to let the quorum to go visit her. Quorum visits her, and someone snuck medicine to her, so she's fine now. And now she's like, "Bro, this is ridiculous. They need to release me." And then that pisses off the quorum. I think doesn't this episode end with him declaring martial law?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so Ty declares martial law at the very end of the episode.
That's ridiculous. Earlier in the episode.
Yeah, which is hilarious because early in the episode he said that. Oh, and all the Quorum of 12 now believe that Rosalind is officially a prophet, the leader that they were promised. She reveals she has cancer to them.
And Ty disbands the quorum.
And he disbands the quorum. He says, "You're dead to me. You're all dead to me." So there we go.
Can we all agree that Ty is a bad leader?
He agrees he's a bad leader.
I know,
He
but
doesn't want to be a leader, yeah.
I know, but he is really screwing things. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Adama's been out for what? Hours? Maybe days?
Maybe days.
Probably like 3 or 4 days, I would think, at the most.
Look at how badly he's screwed this up
3 days.
in like 3 days.
It's like, well, yeah, exactly, because we're going to get to the next episode,
I know.
but it ends with Adama being like, so what did I miss? How's my fleet?
Yeah,
And he's like,
you're like, how much
What's
time do you
going on
got?
in my ship?
So, let me start.
So everything you worked to do, I've completely dismantled in 72
I know,
hours.
because, like, let's see, when Adama gets shot, when Boomer gets back after blowing up the base star. So at that point, the people on Kobol still aren't rescued. Starbuck is still gone, but the fleet's united, essentially. Oh, no, but they have arrested the president.
Yeah.
See, that was Adama's move, though. So the question is, how would he have handled that? Would he have handled that differently?
Did they arrest the president when Adama was in charge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because that was going on.
You're right, because then Lee was Ty's call.
And then they came back, and then he was shot.
So would it have been a case, would Adama have made peace with Rosalind?
Yes.
And he would have let her out and said, okay.
I think he would have talked to her at least.
He's exponentially more diplomatic than Ty.
Well, because this is the thing, right? Like, Ellen is getting in his head, like, you are in charge. You tell them what to do.
Ellen's the worst, man.
Yeah.
She is awful.
But you see how their relationship works, because isn't that the one where they're fighting and she hits him and then...
That's the second episode.
That was the second episode.
Was that the second episode? But that kind of gives you an idea of what their relationship is, right? It's an abusive relationship each way. They're both abusive towards one another. and they just thrive off of chaos and pain, really, right?
But I don't think a relationship like that has no sustainability.
I mean, I think they've basically said that, right? Because he was separated from his wife for years.
Probably the happiest he was ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
she was gone, and he was kind of not off the bottle, but he was doing much better.
He was
'Cause
trying
they
to
still
be.
made fun of him.
Can
for
you
being a
see
drunk.
why he drinks now, though?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
for sure.
Good
He is-
Lord.
he is a drunk.
Ellen
bro.
is, I can't
She
stand
is
it. She's
unbearable, and the whole comments, like like her questioning his command, like you don't understand what it's like to be in charge.
that's kind of what Adama said in the
At-
second
at
episode.
The second episode,
Yeah.
right? Like her being like ripping him the way she is just drives me
But
nuts. But she
has
wants power too.
She has ulterior motives.
Yeah.
She wants power for herself.
She wants to run the. She wants to be the person behind the person.
Yeah, she does. She wants to be large and in charge, right?
Are you, Rob? Are you coming around on Baltar a little
No.
bit? No,
I think they've tempered down his insanity.
His douchiness.
He did the right
I say
thing
he
in
was
this
better
episode.
this episode. I will absolutely say he's better, but one episode doesn't erase the whole prior
I know.
season.
But you got a 1 episode reprieve from
Well,
being like, oh my God, are we serious with this guy?
Actually, I went most of this episode going, this guy is so friggin' annoying. And then at the end, finally, you got to like,
Coming
all right.
through.
Yeah, all right. So finally, he did something right.
Doing the right thing. Well,
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to the second episode, but he does pretty good in the second episode too. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they've toned down a lot of that. Like it doesn't feel as zany and ridiculous as it was. And maybe that's a product that could be a writing thing, or it could simply be that he's gotten used to a freaking voice in his head.
He's
and
more apt to it
and
now.
he knows how to handle it now. Now it's not so like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah.
Who's talking to me?
Wait, what's this hand on me?
Yeah. he's-
Well, I mean, at the end of the first season, he sort of really did accept,
Well, yeah, because
His fate.
he was a
Yeah,
vessel
he's-
of God.
exactly. He
and I
thinks
think
he's yeah.
he was struggling with that throughout almost the entire first season.
And now he's like on board.
So now if he's not expending that energy, struggling with it, he's not stubbing his toe every step of the way now,
no, he's not.
which he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Every decision he made in season 1 was the wrong decision.
Right, and then the last these two episodes, I think he made good decisions in what he did.
Right.
Um,
Question is, no, it's second episode. I keep on trying to jump to that. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. We'll get there.
I know they're 2 separate episodes, but they did blend.
They do. Well, that's the thing about this series
Because
in
the-
general. A lot of
Yeah.
them blend. There's no and
Because
there's
the story
a
is
couple
so-
standalone episodes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they bleed together. Really
because
easily.
it's so story driven on this major arc.
Mhm.
It's not like Star Trek where there's
breaks.
breaks or there's a Ferengi up. They're not going to do an episode on.
There's not a
Che-
Ferengi episode?
There's
It'd be
no
great if
Ferengi
there was a
episode.
Ferengi
Just
episode.
randomly?
Actually, there is an episode called Black Market, all about like the wheeling and dealing that's happening behind closed doors. So that's kind of a Ferengi episode.
Does Armin Shimmerman show up?
Are there there's
cannot-
prophets?
I can neither confirm nor deny it.
Oh,
He's denying it.
I know.
I can't confirm nor deny
You
it.
cannot confirm it.
Yeah.
Though there is a character from Picard in this season who's on Battlestar Galactica as well. So Amanda Plummer.
When is she coming into Battlestar?
I think later in this season or early third season. They introduce I think they introduced some good characters, and again we'll get into that because we didn't go to Caprica at all in this episode.
Not
either.
one little bit.
Good.
Good?
Yep.
Really?
I need a little break from that.
So, yeah.
Well, I needed a break too. I think they chose a good episode to take a break from.
And
Caprica.
they're stretching it.
They went there in the second episode though.
They did
Yeah.
go with
So
the second
I
episode.
but I needed that little break.
Need that reprieve.
But I liked the. We're gonna get to the second episode stuff. Let's talk about Crashdown and being a bad lieutenant.
This episode was about bad leadership.
Yes.
It
100%.
was 100% about bad. Well, it juxtaposing good leadership because then you have Rosalind taking that moment because at the end, right? She's paused. She's not talking, right? They're like, she's not talking. Why isn't she talking? Is that her gathering her thoughts because she's realizing she needs to say just the right words, or is it her coming off the high of the medicine?
I think her high off the medicine because
Okay.
she got the pills not long before he was like, yeah, you go see what kind of clown show this is.
yeah. So
I
part
like
of me,
doing the Thai voice.
Ty,
That's not bad.
I like Ty's voice actually.
You need a flask to do it properly though.
You do. Keep it in your
Yes.
sock.
I'm gonna do it.
keep it in your stock. So I thought, to me, like she was intentionally choosing her words very, very carefully. And part of that could have been 'cause she's still coming off the high. So she's like, okay, does this sound crazy to say?
I think she was doing it, and it's like, yeah. Have you ever been drunk where you know what you want to say, but you got to collect yourself?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, all right, these are the words I want to say, and I want to say them in this order. And I got here's my one shot. I got one shot to say it.
Joe,
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that's what
love you,
thought.
man.
But that's the difference between the good leadership and the bad leadership, right? Because LT there, Crash Down, is like, doesn't he at one point in this episode, he yells at the chief. He's like, you need to calm down. He's like, I think I am calm, bro. Like, he's freaking out.
Good leadership will also listen to
the
people.
around him.
Yeah, and kind of say, all right, maybe this is a bad decision.
Yeah, we have
Was that
two
the-
guns. Yeah.
Was that LT he was arguing with, or was that Baltar?
Baltar at one point, because Baltar flipped out and he's like, this is a terrible plan. We can't do this. But that's also shows something about the chief as well, right? He's going to
Good
go
leadership.
through the proper channels and be like, oh, look, I don't know about this plan. He's going to convey it in the proper sense. And if the LT accepts or rejects his feedback, he's going to go with what his LT says. But the question becomes, who's more in the right here? I mean, Baltar ranted, right, which is kind of part of the issue. But Baltar was right. That was a dumb plan.
It was a dumb plan.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way it was going to work.
Worked in Top Gun Maverick.
It did. And then
But the difference is you have Tom Cruise.
That's true.
and you have Rooster. And if you have Rooster, you're set. And all those mustaches. They were beautiful. They were beautiful mustaches.
Can't wait to have mine back.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon. Just give it some time. Anyways, LT though, like, he is just the epitome of bad leadership in the sense of not knowing the tools you have set before you. It's one thing to see your objective and be like, we need to do something about
Well, he's
that.
also blinded by a little bit of rage there.
Yeah, he is, right, about the funeral. But like looking at, okay, I have Kaylee, who she's just in this for dental school.
They should have sent her down there with her voice, and they would have like made them explode.
They would have naturally exploded. You have Baltar, who he doesn't have any qualifications. The only one who can really carry a gun like him is the chief.
Yeah.
And they're taking on 7 Cylons.
Well, so here's the thing.
Yeah,
the
7.
plan fundamentally. So they originally thought there was 3 Cylons at the missile and 2 at the radar station.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you attack the 2?
I would attack the 2. Absolutely. Well, and that was what Chief's argument was, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just go for the 2. Let's take out the radar station and get out of here. Guerrilla war.
Right.
Right.
You know.
But back to Baltar for a second. I know what I saw. He's again doing dumb things because he dropped the binoculars.
So he didn't see. I missed that.
No,
Yeah.
he totally did not see the entire time them walk away. They walked away from the station, but because he dropped his binoculars, because he's an idiot,
But he
didn't see-
doubles down.
Yeah, he doubles down.
He doesn't know how to admit when he's wrong.
No, he never
his-
admits.
No matter if it's going to get them all killed.
But that's his ego in play. And how many people are like, that's LT too. His ego came into play.
Yeah, but
no, this is a good
see,
plan.
LT came from also a place of hate, for lack of a better word, for wanting revenge. He wanted revenge.
Whereas Baltar is
Is
self-preservation.
an idiot.
No, it's self-preservation.
That's not self-preservation. It's just he's trying to look good, and he's going to get them all killed. Because self-preservation
yeah.
would be like, actually,
Dude, I have no clue what I saw.
I don't
We
know,
can't
bro.
do this.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea. Yeah, that's true.
At that point, you fess up and go, when those 2 came over there and they're like, oh, we have 7 Cylons. And then Chief's like, but that thing might be unguarded.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Baltar should have said, well, I lied. By the way, that's probably from over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This might be the bad time to admit this, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So rather than engaging the 5 from the get-go, we avoid the whole thing.
we know he's
the whole scenario.
Okay, your Baltar hate is understandable here.
Yeah,
Yes,
your
yes.
whole thing
But-
stops if Baltar would have just said, go with the Chief because I lied.
But Baltar
But-
can't do that.
can I play devil's advocate here?
Yes.
That's on you for having those expectations because you know he's not going to do that. It goes against every decision he's ever made on this show.
But still,
That's
You're
true.
You're
You
setting
expect
yourself
too
up
much
for
of Baltar.
disappointment.
You expect
you
way
have
too much of Baltar. He's a dirtbag, and you just got to accept that
no.
and lean into it.
No.
he's a
I think
a
everyone
bum.
should realize he's a dirtbag. And at that point,
I mean,
oh,
they
wait,
kinda
he said
do.
they were there the entire time. They're not. Gee, Baltar's f***ed up again.
But
But
in
again-
Baltar's defense, what is it going to? If they're all dead, it doesn't matter if they know or not.
And I think the reason why you're right, like, wait, hold on, Baltar was wrong. There's no time to think about that because, again, they're getting shot at now, and then now they're rescued, and now they have to have a cover-up for why LT is dead.
I just thought of a point for the second episode, too.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
I used to have my pen and paper. I feel naked without it.
I mean, this is
everything about this feels weird. It's just uncomfortable.
I know.
I don't like this room. It's too big.
I think maybe we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, show meeting. Meeting. What else happened in this? That was about it. This
That was about it.
This was a very Kobol heavy episode, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Minus the Brig stuff with Ellen.
Obviously, a big takeaway for me was how badly Ty is screwing stuff up. The juxtaposition from railing against martial law in the beginning of the episode to being like, whatever.
Double
He
down.
throws up his hands way too easily, doesn't he? Like
Yeah.
he does.
Well, he succumbs to his wife too easily.
I don't think she ever said to declare martial law, but I think part of it
Not
is,
necessarily, but she said you're being passive.
yeah.
And she was taunting him the entire time, saying
And it was immediately after that where he's like, you know what,
Be a
screw
man,
you guys.
be a man, be a man.
Yeah.
I am declaring martial law.
Yeah, so he's sick of her shit and just does whatever.
Well, and the thing is, when he declared martial law, there was no need for him to declare it at that moment.
No, I agree.
Right now, we just have a crisis in the government. We didn't have a full breakdown of the government. He causes a full
Yeah,
breakdown.
he jumped to that a little too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They could have worked on, like, he could have negotiated with them, but that's part of the problem is he refuses to negotiate where Adama would. Adama would complain and whine, but he's going to do what's
He would
right.
at least talk.
Yeah. He would talk, right? And that's not happening here. Or there was other times like I'm trying to think of examples of that where people have kind of gone against his order, but he's still like he's let it go because ultimately they made the right call, right? Like for instance, Ty immediately throwing Apollo in the brig, right, as his father's bleeding out. Come on, bro. He's not going anywhere. Let him be with his dad as he's dying. Like he just makes dumb decisions out of spitefulness. And maybe that's what it is. He's unable to separate his personal feelings from professional feelings. And the professional
100%.
Yeah, they bleed in.
100%.
Yeah, he lets his emotions dictate his decisions rather than...
He's very, very much like Starbuck in that way.
Which is why they hate each other. They're so similar. And didn't Adama say that at one point, like how similar they were?
I don't remember that.
I
Yeah,
think he
I'm not
did.
sure.
I don't know. He might have said that.
Is that a spoiler for later in the show?
No, I think he
Yeah,
did say
Nick just
that
done
earlier in
messed
the
up.
season where he said that they were similar or something like that. Or maybe Apollo said that.
But they are, I mean, in a lot of ways they are.
They're both drunks.
Yeah.
They both don't know what they're doing, but they do all at the same time.
I would say Starbuck is better at what she does than Ty is better at what he does.
But she's really
She's a fighter pilot,
rational-
and she's very good at that.
but she lacks rational thought. Everything she does is based off of emotion. Same thing with Ty, right?
But sometimes in being a fighter pilot, you need that.
Yeah, as Top Gun Maverick would show us.
I learned everything from Top Gun.
As the Lord Maverick says.
As a scripture, the scripture.
Let's turn
The
to Top
scripture
Gun
of
Maverick.
Paramount.
Yeah, let's not that turn the Top Gun Paramount scene 3, minute 23, second 12. The Lord Maverick.
Jerry Bruckheimer said. Oh gosh.
And the Iceman said,
Saith.
Iceman saith.
"You are dangerous."
And all the people said, "Chomp your teeth."
Yeah. So say we all. So say we
So
all.
say we all. So say we all. Doc Cottle's amazing, by the way. He's back and he's
I know,
pissed.
and he's still smoking.
He's still smoking. He's pissed off all the
Like
time.
how he's just walking through the ship, chain smoking the shit out of.
Everywhere.
Can we get another doctor? There's no doctor in training. There's no
doctor.
resident.
Yeah, can we? Yeah, exactly. We need a resident at this point.
Because my whole thought was like, this guy is not lasting very long.
No. And he's trying to kill himself now. He's just like,
He's exhausted. I mean, he's spent.
well, yeah, especially since they keep on killing everybody
I know. I mean,
internally.
Hmm. Oh, here's one thing from this episode, an actual, like, more serious note. Head 6, when she's talking to Baltar, she says that what makes humanity is your propensity to kill. And Baltar argues, Not our art, not our music, not our all those things.
While she's being a big ass hypocrite because she wiped out almost nearly
he
the
calls
race.
her on that. He says,
Did she kill a baby?
Yeah, she killed it, but she accidentally killed the baby in the miniseries.
Debatable.
Oh, it was
Debatable.
It was an accident. That's what I said too.
Yeah. She accidentally killed the baby.
I think she
Did
did it on
Adama
purpose.
accidentally drown that kid? I thought he could swim.
To be fair, that was a vision.
I thought they were
Didn't actually
buoyant.
happen.
I thought they were more buoyant.
So, anyways, yeah, he calls her on that and says, "Well, wait, you're one to talk," and she goes, "Well, we're your children, so we learned from you. We learned from the best. I learned it from watching you, Dad."
And now we're hypocritical, preaching at you guys being terrible while we're being even more terrible.
Yeah, but if maybe they're doing the greater good approach is like, well, if I wipe out the evil, then the evil no longer exists, and then we can just live happily ever after. It's like doing a terrible, terrible thing to invoke good. It never works that way, right? Because you still did the terrible thing. But maybe that's what they're looking at. I don't know.
I mean, the Cylons are hypocrites anyway, so
they're
this tracks.
absolutely
This
hypocrites.
tracks.
They're absolutely hypocrites. This episode actually won a Visual Effects Society award for the Centurions.
I never heard of that award.
I've never heard of it either. But
It's an award made up by the producers of Battlestar Galactica.
yeah. I think they're doing better on their CGI, though. It's getting better. I mean,
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah.
So is the way they film it. It's better than the way it was.
Yeah, we were talking, because he had to watch it with me last night at my house. Sorry, Joe.
I had no power.
Because he had
What?
no power.
Let me check my text messages real quick, see if I got an invite for this.
So we were watching it last night.
Nick reacted to mine saying that I had no power.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't invite
sent
me
him
over to
I
stay,
sent him
Joe.
a message saying, "Hey, you're more than welcome to come over here." Nothing in there.
No.
Oh, sorry, sorry, Joe.
No.
Leslie said to me the other. She said, "You know what? Joe's gonna mention this in the episode. He's gonna be upset."
She was right. She was right.
So, anyways, as we were watching the episode, we were talking about the filmmaking and how it seems
Together
like
in the same room.
Yeah.
It seems like how
Live watching.
they certainly still have that shaky cam look to it, but it seems like it's stabilized a little bit and it's matured a little bit.
Go
It's
on.
not as jarring as it used to be. Would you agree?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, Joe. Well, you had the kids.
What do you care?
Still could have at least invited me over, Joe. You
Joe,
said you loved me.
We
Yeah,
love
whatever.
you. It's just it worked out that way. Oh, forgive us.
Okay. we're fine.
Okay, cool.
That's cool.
Excellent. Thank you.
That was easy.
That was easy. Yeah, we'll take it. But the film seems better than it was before. It's not. They don't do the shaky cam. They don't do the zoom ins as much. They still have. The shots are still. I was telling Rob the other day that I read something where the producer said they wanted to film it where it looked like a documentary, and now that makes a lot of sense to me. Where it kind of does feel like a documentary, like the close cameras and the
Like the
it
Modern
feels like-
Family feel.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, you don't have talking.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like do they use a soft lens for a lot of this? It seems like the lenses they're using are a bit softer and that the shots glow a little more.
Yeah, than they were.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's not a very colorful show though. Either.
No, it's meant
It's
to be.
very drab.
very muted, very drab.
Yeah. Except for on Cobalt, which is super bright,
And
which is interesting.
Caprica is way too yellow. Just enough of the yellow.
Well, that's supposed to reflect the nuclear fallout.
I know. I'm aware.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rob, get with the program.
but you're right. Like the color grading that
Yeah.
they did on it is a little overboard.
Go to a new filter on Instagram. Come on.
I know.
Come on, do better. And should we move on to episode 2?
Do it.
All right, we're moving on to episode 2, Resistance. Okay, so martial law has occurred. Civilian ships are starting to push back against TIE. TIE orders Marines to go in and take supplies. As they go in to take supplies, a bunch of Marines start shooting and kill a bunch of unarmed people. Knowing all this is happening, Apollo and the President Roslin say, okay, we got to get out of here. So they get Racetrack and Duala. They escape the brig, and Tom Zarek is their help hiding. Meanwhile, the chief is thrown into a cell with Boomer because Ty thinks he's a Cylon, and Ty starts beating the crap out of him. And then he orders Baltar to come in to determine who's a Cylon, and he's like, Baltar, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Ty calls him on it. Funny that the drunk is the only one who knows he's messed up. So anyways, Baltar goes in there. He actually gives a medicine that's killing the chief and basically calls out Boomer and says, how many Cylons are in the fleet? Search your programming. She shouts out 8. He brings her back. Meanwhile, on Caprica, Starbuck and Hilo run into Anders, who's a resistance fighter, and he was on the pyramid team, and it's the whole pyramid team who are now like rebels, and they go back to their ship. At the end of the episode, Adama comes back, says, what's going on with my ship? And Ty confesses he made
Get
a
off
mistake.
my ship.
And Adama goes, no one's allowed to question you unless they've been under command.
Give me back my son.
And as they're transferring Boomer, Kaylee comes out of the woodwork and boom, caps her and kills her.
Yeah, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, bitch.
Boomer's dead. She dies in Tyrell's arms, declaring her love for him.
She died a lot easier than Adama did.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I was thinking part of it could be Adama has a will to live. He wants to live. She wants to die. So, like, it's probably easier for her to just give up.
Yeah. So the thing I thought about last episode that could parlay into this episode is, remember, so Kaylee goes up to, who was it she went up to? To Baltar and tried to blackmail him.
Blame, yeah.
Yeah, so I know to tell them what you did down there.
Yeah.
And we were watching it, and we were like, he did the right thing. And then he tried to say that Crashdown died a hero. She was trying to blackmail him. And I'm like, all right, that didn't make a lot of sense to me. But maybe. She knew that he kind of botched the covering of that radar station. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason that they got under fire and got killed. And maybe that's why she was saying, we know what you did down there. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it, actually. I'm thinking too much about it.
I don't know. What do you think?
I agree that he might be thinking a little too much about it. But, I don't know. Sometimes the obvious scenario is what's happening. I don't know. I didn't get that. I didn't get that feeling that there was a deeper meaning to what she was saying.
Yeah,
I just think she's bad at blackmailing.
Yeah, because that's terrible.
That's a terrible blackmail.
He did the right thing.
But I think that's part of the character of Kelly. She's so, she's
in it for the dental insurance.
She's a kid. Yeah. She's a kid, right?
Dental
How old
school.
do you think Kelly is? 22?
22 at most.
Yeah, she's a kid.
Leonardo DiCaprio age.
And she's trying
for a
to
few
play
more years.
with the big dogs. Gaius is probably in his early 30s. He knows what he's doing. He's intelligent.
Does he know what he's doing?
Is he intelligent?
Yeah. I mean, he's intelligent, but that doesn't
Let's
mean
put
he's
his
street
track
smart.
record up.
Yeah, he's a book nerd.
But that means he's smart, but he's an idiot all at the same time. So, I don't know. That her trying to blackmail him did make me angry, right? And it's like, but keep in mind, she has no attachment to this LT who pulled a gun against her head, so she doesn't care if his image is ruined because she's the one who has to lie about this guy trying to kill her, and that's not fair to her. So I guess in a way it makes sense that she would be like, yeah, I don't care. I don't need to do the honor. But I don't think anyone on BSG would be like, all of them would be like, so?
Yeah, exactly.
I would have probably made that same call.
Right.
So all you're risking is
the chief was right there
hurting the honor of this
Yeah.
guy. who's
gun to
killed.
LT's head too.
Yep.
Which this is what we were talking about this too. Like, would you cover up for what LT did, knowing that there's no consequences to cover up for it? Like, would you rather him die a hero, or should it be known that he was a freaking coward at the end and tried to kill one of his own people, and that's why he died?
Or a bad leader.
bad leader.
Bad
I would
plan.
go with option B. I think I
let them know.
Yeah.
See, I want them to. And Rob is like, no. Like, what's the point?
I wasn't like, no. I'm like, I just said, I get what they did. I'm okay with it.
Like, die a hero.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
tarnish the name at that point? Even more. There's no point.
Because I think it could serve as a lesson to the rest of the people. That's why, to me.
Well, I also think maybe if you get a window into how bad leadership is currently, maybe there can be some changes made.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're not just going to sit on our laurels and say, okay, the leadership that are there now, we're just going to run with them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe reevaluate your leadership because
I think Ty proved that on his own.
Shit's starting to get. You guys are starting to get smoked now, and
Yeah.
things are really starting to happen. and the intensity is ramping up. So if you have bad leadership is gonna lose you more battles. If you can, I don't know. I just plus the guy's a scumbag. I don't like, just for the sake of not rustling any feathers, saying like he died a hero. I don't like that.
I do love when he was making his plan, and they're like, what the heck is he doing?
Quadrant 4.
The chief is explaining, well, this is something they do in school. It's typically not actually used.
It's not so literally.
Yeah, not so literally. Yeah, quadrant 4. Quadrant 3 is this. Like, come on, bro. These are people who don't know what they're doing. Like, dumb it down. But again, like, that goes back to that bad leadership, right? He was not meant to be put in charge. And when he's put in charge, that's when things go bad. Same thing with Ty. He's good as a second in command, but if he has to make the calls, it's a bad thing.
I think
he
the Scotty
should be an XO. Yeah.
I think the Scotty Pippen analysis is from last week was spot on.
Well, this is a thing too that's very different. Like Battlestar Galactica in this sense is very different from Star Trek. I was talking about this the other day, that when you think about the XOs in Star Trek, you think about on Deep Space Nine, the XO was Kira. Or Worf, right? They were both capable commanders. You could put them in charge and things would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
On the Enterprise,
they weren't Cisco, but you weren't in mortal danger.
Right. On the Enterprise, it was Spock. Okay, you'd be fine. On Star Trek Voyager, it was Chakotay. Okay, you'd be fine. On Enterprise, I don't know.
No, it was T'Pol.
Was it T'Pol?
Yeah.
You'd be fine. I mean, yeah.
You'd be okay.
On Strange New Worlds, it's number one.
Number one.
They would have been fine.
Riker.
You would be absolutely fine. All these are good things, are good second in commands. But what you're seeing in Battlestar Galactica is the people who are in command are meant to be in command, and the people who aren't are meant not to be in command.
And yeah, like and when you worked at a video store, right?
Yeah.
Your assistant manager should be able to fill in for you when you're gone. And I had one of the best employees ever out there
in command.
When I was at Family Video. Ashley, I'd be gone for weeks, and we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
she was my Riker.
Well, and I worked with someone, when I was the associate at the other church and they were the lead, their thought was, whenever I'm out, you make the calls, and I will always back your calls that you make. And if I was unhappy with your call, I should have been there to make that call. Otherwise, like, I can't come in and groan and complain that you did something that I didn't like. That's not how it works. And that also helps make a good leader as well, like a good second in command, knowing that your leader will back you up when you make decisions. Now, of course, Adama would back him up, right? But I think deep down, Ty didn't think he would, which is part of what makes him make these bad decisions. He keeps thinking, oh, the old man's going to be so disappointed in me. So he keeps making worse and worse and worse decisions.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, we see that Adama's like, no one can question.
He's like a bad gambler who makes a bet.
I'll get it back.
I'll get it back. I'll get it back on the next one. I'll get it back on the next one.
Yeah. Well, he's an addict.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he displays the tendencies of an addict. Right. It's really fascinating.
It's a great analogy.
It is. Wow, that's like profound for you. I'm proud of you. You get a cookie.
Yay!
You get a donut.
You get a donut. There you go.
Don't eat on air.
I'm in.
Don't be Nick.
I appreciated the display of the Marines going in there with the intention not to cause harm, and everything going wrong, because it's what's the word for it, where you up the ante when you come in with armed weapons and like shields and everything.
It's too early, man.
Oh,
I think.
Like when you think about like riots
Escalate.
and stuff like
Escalate.
that. Escalation, right?
Escalation.
Like,
they're supposed to de-escalate.
Until you have all the police officers come in on horses, and then all of a sudden, it gets out of control.
Even though just their presence escalates the situation, because it escalates the tension, and then everybody gets more amped up. Like, hey, why are you? Then
it's the words of Jim Gordon in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
What about escalation?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The ordinary citizens
and you're wearing a cape.
Yeah. But it's black and it's beautiful. It's true. It is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I had a thought. Oh,
no, you didn't.
It's gone.
So I've decided that Ellen's a Cylon.
Yeah.
I've decided it.
Just because you hate her so much?
Just because.
Or do you think she's trying to manipulate?
I think she's trying to be a puppeteer.
Can't she just be
the thought has crossed my
evil
mind.
wench?
No, she can be, but I think she's a Cylon. I think she's a wench of a Cylon.
Okay. Yeah, you got that going for you. But Ty's married to her.
I think he's a Cylon too.
Okay. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I think everybody's a Cylon.
That's what we said. That's the big twist at the end. Every single person's a Cylon.
Oh, when you guys were watching?
Yeah.
Together.
You wouldn't have come over.
No, you wouldn't have. You had the kids.
I fucked those kids.
True. Okay, so I think I remember what I was going to say. Going back to sending the troops on the ship.
Wow. Thanks,
No,
Nick.
I freaking lost it again. I had a really good thought
Are
about
you
that,
sure?
sending the troops over.
Well,
I
good
had it.
thought, and you don't seem to line
I
up.
had it.
My grandma always said if it's a worthwhile thought, it'll come back.
That's
had
true.
it, and it's gone. I got it back. I got it back.
Thanks,
Here's
Grandma.
where it's back. So, in a lot of ways, this shows why Adama is so against military rule. Remember, was it in the miniseries where he's talking about, like, hey, I don't want the military in charge because once they're in charge of policing the people, the lines become blurred and things get ugly real quick, right? And here's the example why he hates the idea of martial law. You send in the military people to police. Military people are not trained to be police officers. They're not trained to crowd control. They are trained to kill. They are trained to assess threat and respond to said threat.
Remove threats.
Remove threats. There you go. And that's exactly what's happening here. Now, were these people really a threat? I mean, I guess it could be. There's 3 guys with guns versus a mob of 100. The mob could easily overtake them.
Yeah, and they're jumping on the
And
guys.
they're not. And again, they're still traumatized. We're only a couple months out of humanity becoming extinct. We're having people on the Battlestar Galactica who is not a good ship to be stationed on. This is like the backwoods ship, the worst ship to be put on. This is not the
Actually, it was
best
the
crew.
best ship to be put on at this point.
No, well, now it is. But like, this is like the worst possible crew you could have together trying to save humanity. So of course this crap is going to happen. And I think that's something, if you're a commander, you have to factor those things into the decisions, which Ty did not do. He just wanted to be like, no, once we go over there with guns, they'll give us what we want.
And when he tried to reverse his course, Ellen was in his ear saying, oh, that
Maybe I should talk to them.
If you think that's right, I mean, but that sounds kind of passive. They're all gooey and feely. You should just, put your foot down.
So I got some stuff from the commentary. Ronald D. Moore has commentary on each of these episodes, and he says that Ellen's manipulation in this case is both conscious and unconscious because her natural reaction to his weakness is to attack him.
Yep. She's Boomer Cylon. She doesn't even know she's a Cylon yet.
And then also, what else does it say? It says neither Apollo nor Rosalind were even concerned about escaping until the shooting on that ship, which I can get that. Like, okay, things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. And then you see, wait, a bunch of civilians were killed because he sent over Marines.
We got to go.
Okay, it's time to go. Like, we can't no longer wait for this to get better.
Yeah, he didn't send over Marines. He sent over, like, deckhands.
Yeah, because they did say we don't have anyone.
Yeah.
And again, that's actually a good point too.
Because Marines do have some training in that, but your typical mechanic wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. So I appreciate that too, because for a while there, you're like, why isn't Rosalind trying to get out? Especially now that this guard is believing that she's a prophet, right? She's the leader, the divinely appointed leader.
She's weakened by the cancer. She can't move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some truth to that too. I appreciated the escape scene. That was done really well with Dee as well when she would walk next to Lee. They have really good chemistry together, though, too, those two.
Yeah.
So
I think Dee has chemistry with everybody, actually.
Yeah, she does.
So far.
It's those eyes and Lee's arms. Like,
Lee has some
Lee's
arms.
got some good arms.
That's my goal.
Wouldn't it be nice to have that cut in of the arm that he has? Just shredded. Jamie Bamber, good for you. Interesting, though. Gaeta, Lieutenant Gaeta?
Gaeta, I think.
Gaeta. Lieutenant Gaeta comes in to talk with Dee in the bathroom. He's basically saying, I know you're up to something. Be careful. Or is he saying, I know you're up to something. Stop.
I think he didn't know what he was deciding at that point.
Okay.
Or
and then at the end, he decided when the chief is like, what's the deal? And he's like, I have no clue.
And also, he might have been kind of saying, hey, I don't know what I want to do, but also, you're not being as slick as you think you are.
Okay. Because Gaeta, at the end, he has a choice to make. Does he rat out Dee because he knows, or does he keep his mouth shut? And he keeps his mouth shut. Again, I think probably because the shooting on the Gideon, right? If that doesn't happen, does he side with the XO over D? I think he does. But now that innocent people are dying, civilians are dying, bro, you need to go. And no one trusts his command, right? He comes on the
phone.
CIC yelling and screaming,
Yeah.
and everyone in the CIC is like, "Dude, what is this guy's problem?"
When he calls up there to tell them to
Let him
supply us,
see her.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's like showing the drinking sign.
Yeah. No one trusts
Which he
him.
was.
Yeah,
Always is.
Always is. Always is. I do appreciate that last scene of Dama coming back in. I didn't realize how much presence that man has on screen until he was gone for a couple episodes.
I had the same thought. I'm like,
When he
I
walked
really,
in the
I really
door,
missed him in
his
scenes.
Yeah.
character because he's the steadying hand, right?
Well, to me, I agree, and to me, even the things that were happening were chaotic, but the scenes felt chaotic without him there. He's a calming presence. He's like okay, everything's gonna be okay. Here's a plan of action. Go forth.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Ty is just like, he's running around like his hair's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically,
Yeah.
and it's like I missed that presence in scenes. Because even when Ty was like, "Yeah, shit's going down," I fracked up
Yeah.
big time.
now you're using it.
I think I think they did a better job with the fracks and the So Say We Alls in the last couple episodes.
So say
I don't mind the So Say We Alls. It's the
So
it's
Say
the
We Alls
frack.
is great.
Yeah,
I love
it's the
So Say
frack
We
that
Alls.
I'm still.
Kaylee says frack though. Ugh.
Kaylee does say it, or Baltar says it weird too.
Yeah, if he could just not speak, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. If he could just
We could all get a
die.
lot more done.
He could just die. That would be wonderful.
But
agreed.
We didn't even touch upon the Cylon detection, and
Yeah.
and him being like, "Yeah, I told you that,
Obviously,
I
it didn't
screwed
work.
up. I protected you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I know what I'm doing."
Right.
I did it for my
Is it-
own self gains.
I feel like that was glossed over. That's a pretty big reveal. Like,
Well, and again, in the commentary, Moore says Baltar's extortion and Boomer Cell is the beginning of a darkening of his character. Baltar hoped to continue his manipulation during the planned tests if Kelly had not killed Boomer, and according to commentary by Moore.
okay, so something's gonna come of it.
So yeah,
I mean,
yeah, because we all know he's not going to do the right thing with that information of the 8 Cylons in the
well,
ship.
that's the thing. He doesn't go to anyone with it. He keeps
Gee.
at least that we know.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What the heck?
he just wants to survive, but let's not give him information to help.
I know it just does not compute. It's ridiculous, right?
And did I hear one of you guys say that you felt sorry for Boomer?
Yeah, Nick said it.
Yeah, I felt sorry for her, man.
Why?
She doesn't know what she is. She's
Nick
really
sympathizing with the enemy.
No, she has no clue. Like they've screwed up her programming.
That's
right?
not
She really
that's not
thinks
our
she's
fault.
human.
That's not my deal. I don't care if she knows or not.
She-
I know that she's a Cylon.
But she doesn't.
She's a threat.
She's trying not to be. She's trying to be a good person. She's trying to be, but her program.
You've got 40,000 people left. Are you really gambling on whether or not she's
I
gonna?
can feel bad for someone and
47,000.
know that they're not safe to have around me. I can still sympathize with this character and be like, "You belong."
Collaborator.
In the cell.
Well,
Can I?
well, what you're doing is
There's an
you're,
episode titled collaborator, and
but you're doing
Later on.
you're doing similar things to what Baltar does.
no, because Baltar lets them off, lets them.
Well, you
roam.
know she's a Cylon, and you're sympathizing, and you're kind of keeping them around.
I
Ultimately,
would
in hopes-
keep her around. I would put her in a cell and use her and interrogate her.
Let's circle all the way back, though. We go all the way back. Ultimately, Adama getting shot is Baltar's fault. Because he,
because he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he knew she was a Cylon. And Six said, "Get off the ship. It's dangerous. Something bad's going to happen." And he got off the ship and said, "He's self-preserve over anything else, over the needs of the fleet, over the needs of humanity."
I have no sympathy for.
I do for her.
I
And then the
don't.
way she goes out, so first of all,
I
she's
love
in the
you,
cell.
Chief.
He gets
hitting
thrown
the
in the
side.
cell.
Like it's hitting like the oblique, and she died, or like
Well,
the arm.
Kaylee shot her just like she shot Adama.
Only shot her once though.
That's true. Couldn't get the other shot off.
There's also the cool symmetry of earlier in the episode, they show blood dripping off of Tyrell,
Mm-hmm.
the chief, the blood hitting the ground. And then later, they show the blood dripping off Boomer hitting the ground, and the symbolism of that was meant to be that what does it mean to be a human versus a Cylon, right? Their blood looks the same. What does it matter?
I think it matters a whole hell of a lot.
Would also find another thing that I have is Ty shooting down that Raptor if Apollo isn't on there.
Yes, 100%.
I don't think he is.
He said
what?
Didn't he say that?
He did.
It was
his son.
It was his son.
I think he used it as an excuse. I think ultimately by that point he realized
You
this
don't-
had gone out of control and he couldn't amp it anymore.
There is a part of me that believes that he doesn't have the balls to do it, though.
No, he doesn't have the balls to kill the president. No, he's not going to.
Although he had already fracked things up bad enough.
But
Why
he
not
never
just double down?
He had never intentionally
Just kill the president.
He had never intentionally killed anyone or made a decision that resulted. He never tried to make a decision resulting in death of someone else. Right? He would avoid those calls because those calls were too big. He thought
He doesn't have the balls to make those calls.
He thought the call to go over to the Gideon to get some supplies was like a minor thing because they were going to be scared to immediately give the supplies. So he thought nothing of it.
Did you order those?
Dissolving the quorum. He didn't think that was a big deal because we already have the president. Like he didn't view these things. The part of the problem is he doesn't view his decisions as big decisions until it's.
I think
too
the problem
late.
is he's a moron.
I think at that point when he let the ship go, he's like, "This is too big of a decision. I got to let them go. I can't do this." Personally, to me.
Or, well, because he called martial law was before that. So maybe
Martial law was
maybe
last
he's already
episode.
like, I'm already fucked this up. I'm gonna let him go.
Yeah.
Fracked.
True. Fracked this up.
And Billy totally bailing.
Billy.
Oh, Billy.
Billy's like, "Nah, this is a bridge too far." That's well done, by the way. That's a nice Happy Gilmore.
Oh, cable
Billy.
guy.
Cable guy. Why did I say? Oh, Billy. Oh, gosh. But
I love that anytime you or I hear that, it's the first thing
Yeah.
we do.
But bailing on the president here, not cool. You've already helped her escape. You've helped her create a coup. You've helped her do all these things.
He doesn't want a civil war on his conscience.
I just
So
don't-
where do we go from here? I mean, now we've got a war with the Cylons, that is,
A war at home.
and now the war with the Cylons is getting intense.
The Battlestar
now
should
we've
just
got-
leave and
I
say,
got a-
now we have
I
a
got
civil
such
war.
a good meme to share with you guys after all this story. Like, it's related to this. Like, where do you go from here? Like, it's a dumpster fire.
it's been a
Yeah.
long road.
Things are,
Getting from here to there.
uh-huh.
It's been a long,
Long
road.
road. But our time is drawing
Wrong,
near.
wrong show
Oh, sorry.
and bad song.
Yeah.
All right, should we go to ratings?
Do we get everything? Do we need to talk about Caprica at all?
Oh, we didn't talk about Caprica, the pyramid team.
That's fine.
I thought it was an
That's-
okay. I thought it was an okay story. I liked her, like how she was, like how they were trying to figure out if they were human or not. Was like how many
That was
vowels
good.
did you have?
I did enjoy that.
And
scene.
it
Yeah.
was like 4, 3, 1 was rescinded. Like that was kind of cool.
That was
It
that
brought
was
some
cool.
levity to it all.
Or
Yeah.
how he got his butt kicked. Like he's the professional pyramid player, and Starbuck held her own against him.
Mhm.
That was kind
I
of.
want to learn how to play
That
pyramid.
game looked pretty interesting, didn't it? Like,
It looked like Quidditch
Looked
on
like-
foot.
Pickleball.
It
I don't know.
did look like Quidditch on.
Yeah,
foot.
you're right.
And like they had triangles that they had to place the ball
Pyramids.
or put their hand
Pyramids.
on. Well, they're only pyramids if they're 3D.
They
No,
were.
I'm talking about the ones on the ground. The
Oh
they
yeah,
call-
yeah.
the drawn
Pyramids. So
ones.
maybe that writers are not that bright.
Gosh, idiots.
Yeah, but the game. If the game was called Triangles, it wouldn't sound as cool.
No, it doesn't.
You would try. I'm a Triangles player.
I play Try.
I like. Ooh. I like Triway.
Tryway.
Triway.
Triway or the highway.
Life is a highway, and I want to ride it all night long.
Where'd that leave off at this episode?
The last scene was Kaylee shooting Boomer.
No, I mean the on Caprica.
They were playing.
They were playing-
playing.
Pyramid.
That was
Triangles.
That's it.
That's where
That's
it left
it.
off. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because they were like, "Look at me, we fell together."
There's
Yeah,
sexual. There's sexual chemistry.
there's
and
obviously
There's
they're about to
tension.
shag.
tension.
Yeah. So there's and then now they
It's,
have.
I
an
mean,
army
it
to
it
go
is Starbucks. So
I'm bringing back Shag, by the way.
But you know what? He fits her better than the other ones.
Yeah, he
that's what
does.
she said.
Yeah.
He's a good. I like Anders too. He becomes a series regular.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Oh,
he's-
okay.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a spoiler,
Yeah, it kind of is.
is it?
Yeah, because you're telling us something we don't know that's happened is going to happen.
Okay.
By
well,
definition, a spoiler.
well, he becomes a series regular. Sorry. So.
Frack you.
But does he have faith of the heart?
I got faith
I set him
of
up.
the heart.
Sorry, Joe. I don't have the earphones on, so it's all
I
good.
can do anything. Let us rate Fragged. Fragged. Let me pull up the rating chart.
Yeah, please.
Let's
Please
do this.
do
Yeah,
that.
obviously I can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can't or won't.
Won't.
Can't or
Hold on.
won't.
Oh,
Battlestar
look at
Galactica
you.
ratings. Here we go.
I got it.
All
I'm in
right.
there.
Fragged. Who wants to go first?
Ooh. I'm gonna give Frag. Okay. I feel like 7. I feel like I want to give it a 7.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's too high.
But
I feel like 6.5 feels low.
There's some good stuff, and I like this.
I'm gonna go 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 7 because it sparked interesting conversation. There was a lot that happened. I don't know. It was a very chaotic. Things are getting very chaotic.
I think I'm with you on the 7. There's parts in there that I didn't love, but like I really like the conversation with Baltar in 6 about humanity, about what makes humanity. I liked LT losing it and them having to make that call. I like the martial law declaration, Ty slowly losing control of the fleet.
You would.
So I dug all that.
Yeah, I said 7 too, by the way.
7? Okay. All right.
Lord's number 777.
777. And then we have Resistance, which
Piece of la resistance.
I think I'm gonna go 7 again.
I think I'm right around 7 too.
I actually am going to do 7 again
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, 7. I mean, they're good episodes.
They are.
they're
They were
entertaining.
good episodes. Like I said,
It progresses the story.
6.5 feels low.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like
That's-
we're trending towards like, that
'Cause
wasn't that good.
I was at 6.5 too, but then you're like, that seems low. I'm like, yeah, that's actually probably a good assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody walking around?
That's Shadow.
Oh,
Right,
your
Jesus.
shadow?
Jesus.
Your shadow?
What happens? Okay. Well, there we go. Well, anyways, that's our ratings. Follow us at
1 second. So just so you guys know, there will be a question of the week posted on our social medias Wednesday or Thursday.
That's true.
So that way we'll put it out there. You send us a text or a voicemail, and we will hopefully get that response out there. So
Right.
You
So-
can also they can comment on
there's
the
some going
post.
around.
Yeah. So
You can
follow us.
comment
at,
on the post on Instagram
yeah,
or
with your
Twitter,
thought on there at
wherever,
Cardassians
however you
Pod.
can get a hold of us.
You
I'll
can,
put it on
you
Facebook
can
too, but no one
Add
cares.
us there. You can go to keeping_up_Cardassians on Instagram. You can like us there. You can go to other places as well.
And that number is
YouTube, yeah.
734-494-0980.
Yes, exactly. So follow us there.
Lines are open.
The lines are open. Call today. Subscribe to Patreon. We had a newlywed game last week, and it was incredible. And you got to tune in for that.
And
Rob and I know each other pretty well.
that's right.
Dude. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. So,
Especially that last question.
yeah, it was good. It was a good episode, folks. So, join us on Patreon, but it's been a blast. Next week, join us as we review The Farm. Oh, wow, we got something to talk about. Anyways, next week, join us as we review more Battlestar Galactica.
We review something.
We will see you next week. Bye.